Ely, and I got presentation 29 on triumphal arches. The first arch we're going to look at is the New Delhi War Memorial. Throughout World War I, it had become prevalent to create something that honored the thousands of Indian soldiers that had died during the battle with the British Empire. Architect Edwin Lutyens, born in 1869 and passed away in 1944, created the plans pictured above for the All-Indian War Memorial. The memorial was initially designed with the intention of creating a triumphal arch with the access of square colonnades. However, Lutyens wanted to also include utilitarian aspects into the memorial, leading to a second draft. So over here on the left, you can see the original drawings, and then on the right, what was actually built. Continuing on the New Delhi War Memorial, the second draft pictured above, there is an astounding figural decoration, pillars, and Indo-Islamic ornamentation in the design. The overall plan is a good geometric jigsaw because every axis and corner is defined by a system of squares built on top of each other. Unlike the overall plan, the ground plan is made from 2 or 4 equilateral triangles inserted into each other. And finally, the memorial's location on the Rajpath, or main axis of the town, makes the Viceroy's house become lost to view in a seemingly endless plain. Overall, Lutyens' Great Triumphal Arch in New Delhi was a highly praised contemporary academic press and evolved the commemorative function of architecture during the 20th century. The next triumphal arch we're going to talk about is Grande Arch de la Défense. The Grande Arch in Paris, France, is described by many as a window onto the world. Construction started on the Triumphal Arch in 1985 and was finished by 1989. The arch was intended to be a place where people from all over the world with different backgrounds and cultures could come together to meet and interact. The Grande Arch was designed by the architect Johann Otto von Spreckelsen, and he was born in 1929 and died in 1987. Spreckelsen was a Danish architect from Denmark, best known for the Grande Arch. However, he was known for using stereometrically pure forms in his work, like cylinders, pyramids, and spheres. In the case of the Grande Arch, von Spreckelsen intended to design an open cube, as I mentioned earlier, to create a window into the world as a temporary view into the future. Typical arches are short, curved vaults. However, the Grande Arch is neither short nor curved, and the design would turn out to be a 110-meter cube with a window 91 meters tall and 70 meters wide. Inside the cube's window, there are frames that splay inwards from the corners. The structure is made of post-tension concrete frames and cross walls, and the distribution of forces, box sections, ribs, and energy conservation intentions. France has a long history of mystic tradition relative to the works of Nostradamus, Gerard Incasse, Hugues des Pins, and others. And so the program of the arch is the 4 basic elements: earth, wind, air, and fire, and they have been used as the basic elements of the human body. Sparkelsen's use of the zodiac elements is more than a symbol of solid earth. Personally, I took the architect's use of zodiacs as an expression of inclusion, that everyone is welcome and it is a safe place. The next arches are the Australian temporary arches, and they were created in Australia in order to welcome royalty into Australia and stage cities for civic celebrations. The first arch pictured above is known as the Arch on Queen Street, located in Brisbane, Australia. The architect in charge of designing the arch was Charles Tiffin, and he was born in 1833 and passed away in 1837. The Arch on Queen Street was created in 1868 to welcome the visit of Prince Alfred, Duke of Edinburgh, to Brisbane. The second arch pictured above is known as the Royal Arch, which is pictured on the left, and that was also located in Brisbane. However, it was constructed in 1901 for the visit of the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall and York. And then the two pictured above are known to be the only two arches that include indigenous content. The next arch is known as the Aboriginal Arch, and that was created in 1901 also by architect Archibald Meston, who was born in 1851 and passed away in 1924, for the visit of the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall, New York, in York. This arch was decorated with agrarian produce like wool, corn, wheat, pineapples, tobacco, and tropical greenery, and the arch symbolized the triumphant success of the colonies in cultivating the land. This arch is a prime example of how triumphal arches were used to commemorate success throughout the 20th century. The Aboriginal Arch in Maryborough, Queensland, was created in 1920 for the visit of the Prince of Wales. This arch is very different from the elaborate designs of the 1901 Brisbane arches, and the Maryborough Arch had a simpler arrangement of foliage. But the arch was connected to a structure with a free-standing triangular form that spanned across the center of the arch to form a centerpiece where the two women were sitting. And that one is pictured on the right. The Boomerang Arch pictured on the left was built in Sydney, Australia in 1954 for the visit of Queen Elizabeth and the Duke of Edinburgh, and the arch marked a significant shift in arch form and the approach to representing indigenous culture. And then here's my bibliography where I got